Oh my good God. The Toronto Maple Leafs actually look like they could be a great team. And they actually are convincing me that they could be a cup team. And I'm not even joking. And I cannot even believe it. So let's talk all about it. So welcome back to the Hockey Show. And today we're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their path to potentially the Stanley Cup going forward. As right now, they hold a 2-0 series lead against the Florida Panthers, a team, and they've been close games. Don't get it twisted, right? Game number one, what you can chalk it up to the Panthers have been off for a while. They had a horrible first period. And the Maple Leafs are such a overly overloaded team with so many offensive killers, and William Nylander's on a mission right now, who has always been on a mission each and every one of these playoffs. It's great to see him getting his flowers because Marner has been okay. He's been good. Mitch Marner's been good, I gotta say. But like Matthews, Tavares, not really doing anything. Riley, not really doing anything. It's nice to see William Nylander getting all the praise from around ESPN and stuff because he deserves it. But the Panthers, game number one, first period, horrible period. The rest of the game was completely dominated by the Panthers. Game two here, last night that happened, was an interesting one. To me, it's like the Panthers were in the game, and it was a really tight and close game, and kind of a really boring game, which I didn't expect the series to be. I thought the series would be extremely exciting, and it was fine. It's still hockey. It's better than any soccer game that's ever happened in the history of the world. But the Toronto Maple Leafs, it was just boring, and that's kind of their new system, right? The Leafs have done such a great job of shutting down teams between the Senators and now Florida, of just slowing them down through every single zone of the ice. Like from the offensive zone, they really do a good job of slowing them down. They do it in the neutral zone, they really trap them down. And by the offensive zone, it feels like any kind of rush, any kind of offensive setup, the Leafs are just covering guys. They're all over the place. The only time, I gotta say, I'm going to give a little bit of credit to ESPN for once. I usually cannot stand all of their coverage, right? But last night they were talking about Chris Pronger. They were talking with PK Subban, and they are making some great observations of how the Maple Leafs, they defend in layers, right? They defend in each zone, and they just crush the Panthers' momentum. They just crush them throughout. And then they showed how the Maple Leafs had been cheating the offensive zone, which keeps luring the Cats into bad situations with 2-on-1s and stuff, which is how they've been scoring some of their goals. So the Leafs, they're doing everything strategically as a team perfectly. They are executing all of their elements amazingly, and exactly like what a Craig Berube that everyone thought he would bring to the Leafs has done. And it helps that Tree Living has done a great job putting guys like Carlo, bringing guys like Tanev onto the team, and putting together an actual solid defensive core, and that can really shut down guys strongly, right? And so to me, it's just like everything I could talk about the Leafs, I feel like they are doing better than the Panthers. Now, it is still close. These games were not runaways by any mean by the Maple Leafs. These were not extremely impressive performances, right? If period one was just a little bit different, game one easily could have been won by the Panthers. This game could have easily been won by the Panthers. It's just, to me, the Florida Panthers, and this is what I was saying in my preview of this series, is I was scared that they are going to get burnt out. They played such strong hockey every single year, playing in those battles against the Bruins for 2 seasons. They played the Lightning. They played the Toronto Maple Leafs over these years. They've been the team that's probably played the most hockey over the last 3 years now. And probably some of the toughest hockey, right? Running into the Edmonton Oilers, right? It's like this stuff, I know they get tons of time off. They get tons of breaks. But guys get older, right? Bobrovsky gets older. He's not the same kind of guy. All these guys, and all those occasions to rise up to the occasion, to be there and be that clutch guy. To me, it feels like the Panthers right now have also hit that burnt wall that a team like the Lightning in round one have hit already. Or it just feels like they've ran into that, they just have run out. They've played such tough hockey, and they're just finally coming to their senses that we can't contend with a team that's shutting us down, beating us up, playing as hard as we are, and has some amazing superstars to capitalize on their chances. That is being coached amazingly, right? That's what it feels like to me watching the Cats play right now. Is it feels like they've hit that burnout wall, and it's also some of the players have been phenomenally nothing. They've been complete non-factors. I want to point out Carter Verhaeghe. Watching that game last night was extremely frustrating because I kept watching Verhaeghe because he wears my number 23. So I like watching every team that has a number 23 on them, like Matthew Nyes, love him. But Carter Verhaeghe to me He missed so many of, like, there's pucks coming to him, like opportunities to make a shot, so many just missed plays over and over and over again. If I was on ESPN in the intermission, I would be pointing him out because he has been having a big problem. And I don't care because I'm going to say Matthew Tkachuk and Forsling as well. But for Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe, to me, it like, sure, they have some points on the board, and they're playing on such a stacked team, and they built up so many points from the first round. But these last two games against the Toronto Maple Leafs have just been so annoying to watch. Like, Tkachuk is still throwing the body. He's playing physical, right? He's in the game, but it just doesn't feel like he's dominating like he could. He's not making those game-changing differences. That guys like Barkov showing up, Lindell, Luosterainen, they're showing up. Reinhart is trying hard, but he just can't really compete. It feels like it. He's not. I don't know. I feel he's a. I don't know. Reinhart is something else. But to me, there's certain players on the Panthers, including Gustav Forsling, that they're just not getting any offense going. Forsling last year, huge problem. He was contributing, I think he had, what was it, 24, 13? He had so many points last year in the playoff run that he's got 1 point in this playoff so far. He's clearly not the same offense, that clear game changer that he was last year in the playoffs. Right now, the leading points guy on defense for the Panthers is Seth Jones, and he has been looking good. Jones has been making some good plays, so any kind of critique to him, I have none. He's been probably their best defenseman, I think. And Ekblad is also showing up. He's getting in deep too. But some of these big guys like Forsling, it's just they can't get any offense going. And sure, that is attributed to the Maple Leafs having great shutdown, great everything. But to me, it's just the Cats, they look burnt out. They look weak. Bob is playing great, but he's just being suffocated by the chances, these unfair chances that the Maple Leafs keep coming out with, like the Domi goal, like the Matthew Knies' goal. It's just this same series over and over again for the Panthers in the first two games. But let me keep in mind that this is not over yet. The Leafs 2-0, if there's any team to not believe in, to believe in, always, and even if they have the lead, is the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? There is no reason. This is the last team to see sit back and relax and be like, yep, we're going to coast in, right? Not going to happen, right? If there's any team to finally turn on the lights and become shut down and tie up the series and make it a good series, it is the Panthers, right? But I am currently leaning towards, I think the Leafs are going, I think the Panthers will win at least one game at home, and I think maybe, just maybe, they could win like the game 5 in Toronto again, but I think this Toronto series in 5 or 6. I don't think it goes 7, I think if the Panthers win, they win in 7, and Toronto wins in 5 and 6. That's what I gotta say. If it gets to game 7, we know Toronto. They're not winning game 7, and the Cats, they are winning game 7. But other than that, I think this Toronto series, and going forward, I really like their odds. I think Toronto, as long as like Nylander doesn't stop playing, and Austin Matthews, never mind, Austin Matthews, he's been playing horrible. I gotta say, I don't care if you disagree, he's been playing horrible. But as long as they don't burnt out, if this Leaf squad continues playing the exact same style throughout the rest of this playoffs, when it gets to the Eastern Conference Finals, when they play probably the Hurricanes, that'll be interesting because we've never seen the Maple Leafs get that far to see them get challenged by certain teams like because we see them play the same teams over and over again. The Bruins, the Lightning, the Florida Panthers, right? They keep playing the same teams over and over again. I don't know what to expect when they finally get out of that Atlantic Division side of the bracket and they get injected against a team like the Hurricanes or like the Capitals, or if they make it to the finals, then playing against a team like the Stars. Like, we just keep seeing the same style of hockey being played. And so I don't know what happens. I don't know if a team like the Hurricanes that are so deep with great goaltending and maybe not many killers offensively, but with a lot of depth and can really slow them down and really bang them up really hard. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens going forward with the Leafs. It's such a weird world that we're living in right now that the Leafs actually have convinced me that they could make it far. But I don't know. But I would like to point out some things in this series for my take. Controversies going on, right? Sam Bennett's little hit on Anthony Stolarz. My opinion, I think it was fine. I think Anthony Stolarz getting injured is insane. I don't know how he got hurt from that. Like, I honestly have no idea. I don't know how that knocked him out for a game at least. And is it a penalty though, right? Is it just like not even like, and everyone with like, intent or anything? But sure, Sam Bennett has a history. Did he run into him on purpose? Probably. Did he do it with his elbow? Yes. Is it a 2-minute goalie interference or elbowing? I think probably so. But for everyone to be up in arms about no discipline, no anything, like this is ridiculous, fair enough that you don't want it a penalty, but that's as far as I would go. But the Evan Rodriguez embellishment call yesterday? What on earth are these refs like actually on? Embellishment? You're telling me, I think it was Chris Tannen. No, it was Scott Lawton. You're telling me Scott Lawton, who is like a Sam Bennett, who is a very grindy, hard-hitting kind of style of player. You're telling me that he hits Evan Rodriguez from behind, clear as day as the numbers, which I will freaking say, the last time in the Ottawa Senators series when, I forget what the players were, but someone hit Austin Matthews in the number. An Ottawa player hit Austin Matthews in the numbers into the boards. Matthews goes down like a crying baby, and then he gets tossed out of the game. And Kevin Weiss is like, "Oh yeah, everyone knows there's 1,000 rinks that are in a mile radius of Toronto's rink right here, and every one of those hockey players know you don't hit someone in the numbers, right?" And then they're all being like, "Oh, well, that's clearly embellishment. He's down for the count. Like he is like, what is that? That's not even a hard hit. He turns away from it." I'm like, are you kidding me? Everyone's defending the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round, and now this round, it's like, what? Like, okay, that was not embellishment. Well, should it be like a hit from behind or something like that? Like some boarding? Probably. No, I don't think there's any call on that at all. I think it is just a hard hit. Evan Rodriguez gets hit hard, and he gets tossed. He's out of the game. And, yeah, I mean, but once again, it's like, sure, maybe a 2-minute penalty for boarding or roughing, but that's it. Like, it shouldn't be that special, but somehow an embellishment call is insanity. But let me just finish this up. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think they win this series. I think they have it in the. I think Florida is long. I just don't see it in Florida. I think this is the weakest team they've had going into the playoffs. I don't believe in them that much. I feel like their top guys aren't showing up to the occasion. And I think they're burnt out. So to me, Toronto in 6 is what I'm saying. So that is all I got to say. So thank you for watching this. If you made it this far, please, I'm begging you to subscribe. And until next time, too sweet. Have an amazing day and ta-ta for now.